a fence. That turtle did not get on the fence by itself.
That's right.
So what does that mean is that if I try to take what God has given us as African people in a critical time, when the word being African means something negative. So for us to be now here, even this space we're sitting in, Brother Jala will tell you, we have problems. We couldn't even have a place to have our meetings. Much more to be building a $27 million building that has everything that we will need, including a health center. How dare I am? I repeat it again. How dare I am to even take credit for that? No, I don't want that credit. That credit belongs to Ginny Blackwell.
Yeah.
It belongs to Stan Stroller. It belongs to the Mayor Commission. It belongs to all of these people that have brought us this far.
Yes.
Because if we don't begin to appreciate them, then the Lord that has protected us will question our genuineness.
Yes.
A lot of folks who experience what I have experienced, we want to come here dressed better than what I'm dressed. They want to ride a better car. So what I'm saying here is we had a meeting with William Penn a couple of days ago. I don't know what, Monday, Tuesday. And one of the things that we experienced is William Penn, one of the top renters in Philadelphia, now respect us. Within the last 1.5 years, they have given us $1.2 million. And they're still now coming to the table to tell us what kind of them are doing here. We are not in the running to be funded. So what I'm saying here, to God be the glory. Amen. Jimmy Blackwell, we acknowledge you. Yes. Professor Asante, we acknowledge you. Stan, we acknowledge you. And let us be humble enough to appreciate the shoulder upon which we stand. 400 years of slavery of the American, Black American people. So what it is that we have redesigned our approach, and we call it the diaspora people.
The diaspora people.
Yes.
We are the diaspora people. We stretch from the Caribbean to North America and to Africa. In the recent, or what I call 50 years, the reverse migration of the African people to North America. So I just want to welcome you here, but I just want to once again, please start referring to me as a founder or anybody. I just one of the players that made us get to this point.
Okay, founder.
Okay,
introduce you to some people call her Queen Mother, I call her sister and everything, but I really want to introduce you to the Honorable Janie Blackwell. She was down in the Service District. As the person for New Decade, she is also currently the chairperson of the Mayor's Commission on African, Caribbean, and Indian Affairs. She founded it, and she's also the chair. Let me say this, just for hanging out with her, she made me the first chair. You know somebody, you know. But I want to have her bring greetings to all of us and thank her for the work and her leadership.
That's right.
Because Janie has consistently spoken for all of us, even when we were afraid to speak for ourselves. She stepped up and talked to her, and we want to really give her a great reception for all she has done for us. And I'm trying to make her rest now. I had to go to the hospital to pick her because her niece is very ill, and she's been here every day. But thank you for being here, James.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
As always, I first thank God for the privilege and the pleasure to be here with all of you. Thank you, Volpe and Gaston and Stan. Thank you to Dr. Malete Asante and his lovely, talented wife. Thank you to all of you who are here. Yes, my stepdaughter is very, very ill. I spend hours there every day. And I thank God that she's still here. And I want you to know each and every day when I pray that God who created this whole universe, the whole world, that he will let us learn to love one another no matter what we look like, no matter what language we speak, no matter who our families are. We have to love one another. We have to learn that we have to get along. If we don't, who will? And I ask the Heavenly Father every day when I pray, I ask for that. I thank him for creating this world. I thank him for his son. We're sorry he suffered 6 hours on the cross. I thank him for all that we want to accomplish and ask him to help us. If we learn to love one another, all of us everywhere, the rest will happen. Life will be better. We will do the things that we need to do. And of course, I thank him for seeing each day. Every morning, I thank him for another day. So let me thank all the leaders here, all of you who are here, all the partners, and say it's all God's business and all our business to do what we can to share what he has given us, to help one another and to make this world a better place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. But I just want to introduce, ask him to raise his hand briefly, Reverend John Jallo. Reverend Jallo was really important on the Mayor's Commission, also the founder of Agape Senior Center. I'm trying to get him to make the senior room in the new senior center building.
There's an age requirement. You too young, Steve.
I'll get a chance to do that soon. We're also going to have an exhibition of the food. The Ethiopian Community Center of Greater Philadelphia is preparing the food, so we're going to have a coffee ceremony in Ethiopia for us as we go forward. I wanted to just have him briefly come forward. This is Mr. Gary Wooten from Global Philadelphia Association.
Yes.
Gary, Philadelphia is the only World Heritage City in the United States of America.
Yes.
His organization and Zabeth was successful in making that happen many years ago. But also I want y'all to know this is Africa Liberation Day.
Yes.
In 1963. And we'll talk more about it. Professor, but Gary, please make some opening remarks. If you want to come up here, they're going to make you come up here anyway.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad to be with you all. Happy to stand and Blocky for always being a great partner here at Ghana. I am Gary Wooten. I am the Events and Community Manager at Global Philadelphia Association. As Stan said, we are the first World Heritage City in the U.S. We're really excited to have that. And so this year for 2026, we're celebrating World Heritage Month. This is our celebration where we reflect on all the different organizations, community partners, and events that happen in Philadelphia that make it a really great World Heritage City. So this year we have 78 community partners. We have over 212 events. This is a small sample of the events that we do have, and as you can tell, we are at the tail end of the month, but we have a lot of great events, this being one of them. Excited to partner for Africa Day. And then we also have our closing reception on the 28th. It's going to be at City Hall. We invite you all to attend that as well. We'll be having a flag raising of the Organizational World Heritage Cities flag. And that covers it. I'm really excited to get this program. Thank you all.
Thank you, Gary. Gaston, is he here? Gaston. I just want you to talk briefly, and then we'll go to the school program. Let me introduce you to Dr. Gaston Monroe. Doc is our person who is the really the CEO of our Africatown project and making things happen. So I'm gonna take all the credit, but he has to go do the work once I finish. So introduce yourself, Doc. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. As Stan said, 2 years ago, Jenny, Stan, and Buffy asked me to do a study of Southwest Philly and Africatown. The next thing you know, they say, now you have to do it. So yeah, I just want to make sure when you guys go to remember 4 different things about Africatown. For me, that's who I present Africatown. There are 4 pillars. The first one is infrastructure. That's what Buffy talked about. You're going to have a nice building here down the street. We have a marketplace that you're going to build on Woodland Avenue, and much more projects coming up. So the infrastructure is a key piece because you have to transform our neighborhood. The second piece is economic development. We have around 700 businesses, and we want to make sure that those businesses can thrive. Because if they thrive, they can hire local people, we're all going to be doing well. So it's basically strengthening what Akane is already doing and making sure that through partnership with PIDC, Commerce, and other partners, we can lift up the businesses in Southwest Philly. The third pillar is what we call arts and culture. As you guys all know, food brings us together, culture brings us together. So this year, for example, we're going to have watch parties for the World Cup. So we're going to make sure you guys all know about them, so you can come. Some will be outside, some will be supporting some of the local restaurants and bars that we have as a means to really bring people together. On June 28th, we have a big Africatown Festival on Woodland Avenue. Don't miss it. Okay? But I want to bring something else.
June 5th.
Yes. Oh, I forgot. On June 5th, you're going to also have the signage of Africatown officially when you come to Woodland Avenue. Now you're going to see Welcome to Africatown. So it's not happening, okay? It's not us. It's the city putting it out there. It's a big event. So, the last piece that I want to bring up is you can have all the infrastructure that you need. You can have all the business you want. You can have arts and culture. But if people that live here don't benefit from what you're doing, you fail.
That's right.
Okay? So one of the things that we're trying to do is to make sure that we start young. So we create something called the African Leadership Academy, where we go to elementary and middle school and high school and try to really teach young people some leadership skills. Tell them there's another way from what you have known in the past, and I'm very thankful that Dr. Mulefi has been one of our speakers, and we have been having leaders from the entire city. They are lined up trying to talk to those young people. Very excited. But that's just in school. What do you do with those people that are outside returning citizens or people who don't have any chance to get a job?
Right.
So we are working with OIC of America, starting I think in July. We're going to have a training program in this room where we're going to have them in trade, mostly building and construction. Why building and construction? Because we're building Africatown, but more importantly, we're trying to make sure we are part of the mayor's strategy to build 3,000 houses. So our idea is, as you get those houses, you train the young people, you give them jobs, but also give them a path toward the union. So it's extremely important to empower the local community so they can buy the houses, they can find the jobs, and then Africa is going to thrive. So I'm very excited to be leading this effort, and every day I wake up, I'm so glad to do it. Okay? So thanks for being here.
Thank you, guys. Please give me another big hand. I want to recognize you are Bob, the founder and owner, family owner of Hilton's All Restaurant. I want to introduce Mr. Michael Rashid, former Commerce. Both knows it. Somebody said, "Oh, them black people are crazy." Ain't gonna do nothing. This guy was the chair there for us, everybody. I mean, I can't even describe, but I would have to say to you openly. So next, I do want to have her say here because she's another one. We take all the credit for the work that she do, But she does the work and gets us out there. So we so Delos is the director of communications here. She does our newsletter and keeps all of us going forward.
Keep them in line. No, I'm going to be very brief because Stan said it, Bofi said it, Gaston, all the people that talk a lot spoke before me. You don't need me to say much, but welcome all. And like he said, you see all the communications out there about Africatown, making sure you're informed about what's going on. That is coming from me. You see my email, please reply. I'm so happy to see all of you here. And we're going to have a great day. We have a great lineup. Like he said, you have amazing food. So I will be sending more communication out there about all of the events that they talk about. And media partners, please reach out to me if you want to partner with Africatown in any way possible. We're always looking up to partner with the community, okay? So you're going to hear more from me, okay? On social media and email, so I don't want to bore you with too much, but welcome.
Thank you very much. Quickly, before we go to Dr. Asante, I want to introduce you to the first part of why we're here today. Kayo, please come forward. Kayo Malamo, please. He is our wonderful artist. This guy, he is doing everything. You're talking about a Renaissance man, he can do it. I don't know if that's something to say about people from Nigeria, what, but they can do everything. That's good to say about Nigeria. But his side work is phenomenal. He's been in City Hall. He has a gallery up in York, Pennsylvania, where he's from. And just as important as he being here in Philadelphia, because as I travel, maybe as some of you travel, some of the artwork in Africa, the African artists is phenomenal. I got some pieces for $300,000-$400,000. I see, what is it for real? That's AI or what? But it's a phenomenal time. And so we don't have to look any further than just Philadelphia and in our own family here with Kyle and his work. So I wanted to give him some time to, in the beginning, to talk about his work, share with us a little bit of his vision. And I know he's a good worker, but I helped him get his wife here. They got 2 kids, and them guys already in college now, so he's a good hard worker. Please, Kyle Malamo, please.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out tonight. It's great to see everybody. Can we please put our hands together once again for everybody? I'd like to say a very big thank you to ACANA, African Cultural Alliance. Another round of applause for them. City of Philadelphia, Stan, the entire team at Africatown, all the people who have made this happen. Really, really appreciate everything and the name of the organization. Global yes, Global Philadelphia. Please, let's celebrate them as well. Thank you. So my name once again, Kayode, means God has brought joy. Yes, so I try as much as possible to bring joy through my art. I see myself as a visual storyteller, and I have been doing this for a little bit of time now. It's getting closer to 40 years now. I also want to quickly appreciate actually 2 of my high school friends who knew me when I started the journey scribbling, Juba and Yemisi out there. Thanks for coming out to support. And yeah, they knew when it started. But it's so interesting the way the whole art thing started for me. I started when I was about 8 years old. How it happened, my dad gave me a little art project to do. He didn't want us to be buying cards, seasonal greeting cards from the stores. So he commissioned me to do 100 at 8 years old. And he wanted me to have every inscription inside handwritten. So I got paid for the project. For all intents and purposes. But you know, years later, fast forward, I would also find out that he also did that to help try and get me out of trouble. And it was a great way of getting me out of trouble. It's one of the things that has, you know, now inspired this. And so fast forward up until when I was about 17, gained admission into the University of Ibadan in Nigeria. and all the schools were shut down because of civil unrest across the entire country. We were at home for 2 years, we couldn't go anywhere. So rather than sit down at home not doing anything, I started painting. And that was how it started. I got my first art lessons from my elder brother. I started working with other artists. And from there, I actually started an art gallery in Nigeria that ended up paying for most of my college education. I shared that because a lot of us, particularly the Nigerians, want all our kids to be doctors, engineers, and lawyers. Yes, they can be all those things, but in addition to that, they can also be artists. And so they must, I always, even my kids, they're not kids anymore, they're both taller than me now. So they shouldn't hear me saying kids. Allow our creative wills to continue running. And so that's what inspired this journey. It's been an interesting one. I also want to share that Philadelphia has been wonderful to me. I've had the opportunity to exhibit at the African American Museum and around here, actually around Pennsylvania and beyond. So I'm super grateful. But one of the things I really wanted to also focus on is on how this art ends up bringing us all together. It's a powerful one. So I'd like to share a few with you. The first one I'd like to share, and that's always special to everybody. If we look all the way down there, that's the mother and child. It's, it's a special feeling, and for me, what I found out is that with every single culture, across every culture I've come in contact with, the bond between the mother and child is always special. And I'm always intrigued at how the mother's face lights up, the baby's face lights up once they start looking at each other. It brings great memories for me. And there's also a deeper meaning to it, and that's about the welcoming spirit. If you go across the road over there, there's actually a mural on the wall titled Mother. And what's special about it is the inspiration behind it, which connects to my mother and child paintings. The deeper meaning is that we have come here and we met our African American brothers and sisters here. And with that, they have extended their arms of fellowship to us. And so that bond, where you see in these paintings, is also reflective. If you look at the second one over there, the mother and child joy, the mother on the left, you see an African American mother, and the baby on the right, you see we see the Ghanaian fabric around her. Yes, that's actually fabric. I initially painted it in oil, but because of that unique story and interpretation, I decided to wrap the baby with kente cloth, given to me by my auntie. So for me, the connection, the engagement is our African American brothers and sisters also welcoming us, coming from Africa. So please, I want us to continue in that spirit. There are beautiful stories within this, these paintings that you see here. The piece over there, you see titled Knowledge is Power. It's 3 young girls. The 2 of them are African Americans, and then the one in the background is an African, young African lady. If you look at what they are wearing, they are all wearing adire, the traditional African garbs, celebrating and sharing knowledge, which also helps us to stress the importance of education. So with my work and things that you see around, I try as much as possible to highlight happiness, hope, healing to my community. And also we see Africatown, which is beginning to born. What's special about it is also celebrating the spirit of entrepreneurship. You look at the painting here, and guess what? An entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur is sitting in front of that painting. And it's titled African Marketplace. And there you see the vegetables, fruits, tomatoes, and bells being sold by who again? Some of the most hardworking women that I personally have met in my life. And so that transcends into when we come here as well. How we see hardworking men and women trying as much as possible to improve our lives. So with all that, there's so much to celebrate. I don't want to take too much of your time. We'll definitely have additional time to sort of, talk about the works. If you have any questions, comments, please, I definitely love to hear from you. Let us continue to work together. I strongly believe together we can achieve more. Thank you all so much for coming.
How long will the exhibition be here?
So the exhibition is actually going to be open up until June the 30th, end of June. You are welcome to come back. Bring your friends along. Bring your credit cards along. Yes, but anyway, just to let you know, everything here is available for sale, and a portion of that will go back to Akana to support the work they do in the community. That's my own way of giving back. So, thank you. There are different ways of payments. There's Vimo, there's Cash App, there's everything available over there. And that information will also be available at any point in time. If you also want to organize a private tour, maybe with your family or with your friends, I'm happy to Cole will be available. Yes, she will be available to take you on a tour here and show you things around. And if I'm in town, I'll be more than happy to join the tour as well.
Exactly.
Thank you.
There is a go on, talk for her,
Yes.
please. Give me like a
There's one. I'm sorry.
No.
I have?
Yes, you have 5 minutes.
5 minutes to share his story, and this story is really important to us as we welcome. Get ready for the World Cup. There's a painting artwork you see over there, right there, of a soccer player. It's titled "Victory in Motion." Can anybody recognize the soccer player over there? Anybody? Oh, who said?
Someone said it.
Who said Osimhen? Please, can you give him a hand? So that is Victor Osimhen. He's one of the best players in the world right now. He's originally from Lagos, grew up in the slums of Lagos. At 17, at 16, he tried to get on the national team. And he went for the trial. Nobody gave him a chance. And after trying, they said, okay, there's going to be one more chance. You have to go to the capital, which is in Abuja, to come and try out again. And so he went there. He got to the stadium and he met 1,000 people there. So anyway, to cut a long story short, Victor tries out for the team, and they all had 30 minutes to prove themselves. And in 30 minutes, Victor scored 3 goals. So he was excited, and guess what happens at the end of it all? They did not call his name. Wow. They did not call his name. So unhappy, trying with his pair of flip-flops, he was getting ready to get back and hitch a ride back home. And so 3 kids ran out of the stadium to come and call, and they said, they're calling you inside. The doctor recognized you. The doctor that was actually monitoring things mentioned you to the coach. So they said you should come back in. So when he got in, the coach apologized and said he mixed him up with somebody else wearing a green shirt. So anyway, they gave him a try. He did it again. Victor was successful and got on the team. He got to represent Nigeria, the long and short of that story, at the Under 17 World Cup. And guess what? Victor scored 10 goals in that competition, which is still the record up until today. And from there, he's gone on to play for leading teams in Italy and across Europe. So my moral of the story is what I'm going to leave you with. Just like Victor, let's never give up.
There is a signing sheet going around. If you didn't sign that, please make sure you have the information on there. We'll send you more detail about the exhibit to know what time to come to Arcana. If you want a private tour, we'll email who to call, okay?
Kyrie, we talked about our fellow Nigerian brothers and sisters with PhDs in engineering and doctors in lawyers, but he actually has an MBA in finance and is a certified public accountant. He's not lightweight at all. Before I introduce our main speaker, I did want to recognize a couple of people here. Doc, where is she?
Dr. Achman, oh, she always back there.
Stay there and just wave and say hello or something.
She's on her way. No, she's
okay. Please, I just wanted to have you guys recognize her.
Dr. Achuma.
She's one of the great medical people in our community, and one of the leaders actually of medical mission to Liberia. Every year they take a group of doctors and medical professors to Liberia and other countries every year. I want to recognize them for that work. Medical expertise is in ophthalmology, is that right? But I get something in my eye, and I think I'm trying to get it work for me, you know what I mean? The other thing is, for many years, some of you may have heard about this phenomenal organization called the Africatown. I had the honor and blessing of working with the founders of that organization for many, many years. And spent a lot of time in the Mona Israel working with them, and I want to introduce you to now, forgive me for saying name directly, who was part of that community. Well, let me say this way. Like the rest of these young people, he's one of the young people I saw back in the day in Israel, and it was great to have him here in Philadelphia. We're still going to eat, but we have to listen to wonderful scholar, one of the great scholars of our time. And the opportunity for us to listen to it is such that at 84, I still go every Sunday to try to get here if I can. I couldn't get there yesterday because my wife had to go to Atlantic City together. So I had to drive her. So I'm sorry for that, but I missed it. But let me say this. In addition to being a great leader in our community, a fantastic and world-renowned scholar, he is also for us, many of you, the founder of Afrocentricity, the philosophical and ideological underpinnings of what we call Pan-Africanism, the nature of our work, his vision and his writings are far exceeding anything I could read. I haven't read all of the books yet, but he's written over 105 books. More importantly, he's still working and helping us to work out many of these themes and problems we see in our lives every day. I consistently try to talk to him and understand what we're going through, because even I say to both of you, my young guys sometimes, we've been there before, we've done that. But he can tell you what page was bought, who wrote that first. You know what I mean? So the opportunity for us to be a part of this thought in time, I mean, he always remind me that when we talk about philosophers, we talk about Plato and Socrates, those guys. How many black philosophers you know? Right. I know one great, the great Dr. Miller.
Before he comes playing. Yeah, I was gonna say just say something quick.
You want to say if you feel better standing up,
I'm good. I'm good. Y'all good?
Yeah.
Okay. First, let me greet you in the ancient Kemetic way. Classical civilization in the Nile Valley. Hotel. I'm so happy to see you here. I wanted to say, first of all, to Stan and to Wolfie, Jenny Blackwell, and all of you that I am very honored to even have the opportunity to stand here. But my wife and I, we were very excited about coming to this program today because you have redefined the notion of all this diversity in Africa as the diaspora. And I like that the diaspora is diverse, and we are diverse. And you have mentioned the MKA Institute, and I would just like to remind people that they don't know that the first donation that we received for the MKA Institute came from Michael Rashid's organization. He has always been a very strong supporter of our institute. I'm very happy to be here also with young brother Ian Jabate. You may not know him, but he's tall. He's become our technical assistant at our institute, working with us as well as working here with Akana. It was interesting, Stan, when I heard Wolfie say he didn't want to be called founder. But one thing I learned, and that is that if you go to a forest and you see all the trees around, you can always tell the Iroko. It stands there. And with all the support and the assistance that he has been given, it is the drive, the vision that he has shown that has brought us to Africatown. And I want to congratulate him for that, because his humility is also a representative of his dignity and also the respect that we have for him. I also want to just recognize you, Mubarak. Whenever I have visitors from the continent, we always go. Because of the warmth and the food and the quality and the maintenance of great African culture. And I was just listening to Kaode talk about his art, and I was so impressed by that because it reminded me that many years ago when I was much younger, I was in Oshogbo, and I went to see a great artist named Twin 77. You may have never heard of this man. How many people heard of him? Yes. Okay. He was one of the greatest of the artists of his time. And Twin came here before his death. He came here to Philadelphia. And I was able to host it in my home. So I'm just delighted to be around all of you and be here. I tell people that in the diaspora, my wife is originally from Costa Rica. People say, do we have black people in Costa Rica? At first, in Costa Rica, yeah, they do. In fact, all over Central America and South America, there are black people. And in fact, Brazil has more black people, twice as many as we have here in this country. So it's very interesting to me sometimes about our sense of knowledge. So this is African Liberation Day, and I just want to say a few words about that, and then I'll be done. In 1963, the group of 32 African nations, at the time there were only about 32 nations, they gathered in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and they formed what was called the Organization of African Unity. This Organization of African Unity was set up for two purposes. One, to rid the continent of colonization, and two, to unify the continent into one nation. This was the vision of Kwame Nkrumah, Haile Selassie, and a lot of the other people who were very early on in this. Now you have to understand this context, and if you understand this, you begin to understand something of the world and the nature of the African world, particularly that Africa, when you look at the map of Africa today, that map of Africa is not a map that's based on the organic and natural boundaries of African kingdoms. That map was designed by Europe. In fact, all the borders of the African countries we see on the map were created by the Europeans in 1884. They sat down in Berlin, in Germany, and they looked at Africa, and they decided to divide it up among themselves. That's how they got it. The problem was that Italy didn't get anything. And so Italy decided in 1896 to conquer Ethiopia. And of course, they met Menelik, and they were defeated at the Battle of Adwa. You see, 1896 was one of the great victories of Africans over European nations. Italy did that. Now later on, in the 1940s, Mussolini attempted to go back into Ethiopia, and in fact, they were in Ethiopia for about 2 years. So I'm just saying to you that the history of Africa and the African liberation has been something that has been consistent. And it was something that was also dreamed about by the Africans who have been brought to the diaspora. Those of us who were brought to Haiti and to Jamaica and to Barbados and Trinidad and to all of the South American countries with the exception perhaps of Bolivia. You had all these African people, North America, South America, Caribbean, with this desire, this notion of liberation, of freedom, particularly first from enslavement, but then after that, from colonial imagination and the sense of self-hatred that a lot of people in the African world had taken on because of the suppression and the oppression of black people. So by 1963, after the independence movement had started, first it started in Africa in Egypt and then in Sudan. We often say Ghana, but Ghana was not the first. The first was the independence in Egypt, and the second was independence in Sudan. And then the third was independence in Ghana. Once those countries were independent, we then had 5 countries that were independent in Africa of the Europeans. Liberia was one, and we give great honor to Liberia. In fact, 2 years ago, I spoke in Liberia for their 200th recognition of the bicentennial of Liberia. Liberia was one, Ethiopia was the other, and the other 3 were Egypt, Ghana, and Sudan at that time. But by 1963, there are 32 African nations. So they meet in Addis Ababa. They said, okay, we got to rid this continent of all colonial influences, and then we've got to unite. Well, they achieved the first one. They got rid of apartheid in South Africa and Namibia, and that was a big deal to get rid of it. And we have to always praise the people who were visionaries, the men and women who worked very hard to demonstrate that they could liberate these countries. I had the joy, undeniably, of working with the people in Zimbabwe, for example. I went to live in Zimbabwe during the time that Mugabe was leader of Mugabe. I went there in 1980. I went back and I stayed in Zimbabwe. And one of the things that happened was that ZANU, which was the Zimbabwe African Union, which was much like the ANC in South Africa, was dedicated to the idea of getting rid of all the vestiges of colonization. This was a big job on the part of the people of Zimbabwe, but not only Zimbabwe, but South Africa, SWAPO in Namibia was also one of these forces. All these people. So ultimately, no colonization, no oppressive colonization in Africa. All right? So then what happens? What happens is that ultimately, and Gaddafi recognized it, by 2002, we have a problem with the Organization of African Unity because it had decided to become everything other than what it should be doing, which was to bring about the unity of the African continent. Can you imagine what would happen if Africa was united? The entire continent, one continental nation. That is the dream. That was the dream of Garvey. It was a dream even of Du Bois at one stage. It was a dream of Nkrumah, of Cabral. This was their dream. The dream. Why can't it be? What would stop it? People say, well, there are too many different languages. Well, India is a nation of many different languages. China is not only just the Han people, they have 53 ethnic groups in China. So why couldn't Africa do this? This was the dream. So what Gaddafi, and I have to give credit to Thabo Mbeki, because it was during his time also that they recognized that there had to be another direction for the continent of Africa. And that was the Organization of African Unity had finished its mission. Let's now create the African Union. That was created and served in Libya in 2002. We have, on the diaspora, we need to understand that. They created the African Union. The aim of the African Union is to bring it, forget about colonization, we've done that. Bring about the United States of Africa. That's its aim. The diversions, the distractions, the incursions, the attempt to intervene in the continent in so many negative ways by outside forces have not brought that into reality. That is our biggest challenge at this point. Can you imagine a nation that would be the second most populous nation in the world? A nation that would also have the greatest amount of material resources in the world. Right? Would be the greatest hydroelectric nation in the world in terms of water power. The greatest coastal area in the world. A continental nation. A dream that has been the dream of all Pan-Africans for a long time. I'll tell you shortly one issue, and then I won't read much more. The main issue is that we have no driving ideological position in Africa. And that's why I wrote Afrocentrism. You can't just say, I'm for Pan-Africanism. What's the basis of it? What do we believe? What is it that's our classical civilization? What does it teach us? Who are, as Stan asked earlier, who are our main philosophers? Who gave us the creed and the foundation upon which we should live? I mean, who gave us? How do we understand that? You see? If we don't understand that Imhotep, first of all, this is a basic lesson for all of us. Every African child, every child in the world ought to know the name of Imhotep.
Yes.
Why? This is the first multi-dimensional human in the history of the world that we know something about. We don't know about other people. Other people may be mythological figures, but this was a real person. A person who created the first pyramid. Imhotep, Africa. Why is it that our children don't go to school and learn about Imhotep? Chinese children should learn about Imhotep. Scandinavian children should learn about Imhotep. The first human to create a pyramid. The first queen in the world, Sobeknefru, was a black woman, an African woman. Why we don't know that? So if we don't know that, that means we don't have a common knowledge about our own history. We don't have a common understanding of our sense of personhood. How can we be conscious if we don't even know our basic traditions? You see, that's the problem. And it's not, I always have to be soft with us. Because I just want us to understand that that's not, we didn't create that problem. We may maintain it, but we didn't create it. The problem was created for us. It was created during colonization and enslavement and factions against factions and people, and so we become anything because we don't know who we are. That's fundamentally a problem. And on the continent of Africa, it's just as bad as here. Sometimes we say, oh, well, it's bad. Well, let me tell you, right now, we're having a big problem in Mali. We're having big problems in Niger, Burkina Faso, Sudan, Congo. There's problems. Cameroon. We got fighting. People are not happy. Part of it, again, is the outside forces coming in and trying to take over the narrative of those people. That's the problem. And so I give honor today to the young brother, Ibrahim Traore.
Yes.
in Burkina Faso. He's inspired by a person who inspired me, Thomas Sankara. And in fact, Thomas Sankara, in the 1980s, Thomas Sankara invited me to Ouagadougou.
Wow.
And just before I had accepted the invitation, he was killed. And when he was assassinated by Kamara, they decided to go on with this conference, which was a conference which was to develop an institution that would be the Institute of African People to translate all important documents in the African world into 5 different languages and then to spread them out. If people were writing in Brazil in Portuguese, they would send those documents to Ouagadougou, we'd translate them into the other languages, and then we would ship them out. So, because what we were saying at the time, this was led by Commander Wakamanda from Congo, he was our chairman, that we didn't have one place where all African documents can go out to the whole African world. We were all doing English or French or Portuguese and so on. And so this is a big problem. So when he was killed, they still carried on the meeting, and I went with about 4 or 5 other people from this country. And we had the meeting. We didn't attend the reception for the Kamara, the person who supposedly was responsible for his death, had held. But we did meet and had this discussion. And it was a vision of Thomas Sankara for the uniting of Africa. And now what Traore in Burkina Faso, and Goïta in Mali, and the leader of Niger, what they're trying to do is to create the beginnings of the United States of Africa. So that's why I call them, when I talk of the United States of Africa in real time, I'm talking about those 3 countries. I wish I could talk about I wish I could talk about Senegal. That's my country. I a passport. Carry my Senegalese passport. But Senegal, I thought that Faye and Sonko were going to do something. That's a different problem in Senegal. But I just want to say to you, the thing that we have to do ultimately is so important. This is an institution. But with an institution, you also have to remember, because institutions last longer than individuals. Whatever the institution is, you want an institution, because the institution carries on the vision. The individual may go, but the institution should continue, you see? And many times what has happened is that our institutions have not been maintained. The African American community, just as an example, and I'll say this to you even though we are diaspora, the African American community is one of the most creative and energetic groups of people to build organizations. Do you know that? You better think about that. You better think about, we build a lot of organizations, mainly churches, but we build a lot of them. We have more organizations. We can build organizations that are not for profit. That's, however, maintenance of our institutions is important to pass on to the youth. That's what we have to do. And I am so proud of Arcana for this, because this alliance is the kind of alliance that we need forever, and to continue to fight in this battle and in this tradition. Thank you all so much.
Listen, I'll take a few questions if you have them. And so put your hand up and then we'll try to get something to eat. Besa is here? Okay, I just want to make sure. That's she's our host and the caterer today for the Ethiopian Community Question. Just put your hand up real quick. Okay, go ahead. Speak. Stand up. I know you got a lot of space there.
Thanks, Mr. Stroger. Mr. Stroger is a chief from Ife. That's what it's going on.
Let me say in 2 years, the Imperial Majesty, the Union made me a chief over 10 years ago. So I'm Chief Taishi of the source.
Chief Taishi. I love that, man.
I was at his ceremony when he was made a chief in Ghana.
Yeah.
So this is Nana. Okay? So yes,
I am always tell people, Nana Okru Asante Piasa.
Yes, sir.
Chido Mhini Apafu. And I chill.
I should not be shaking the sheep's hand. I should be shaking the sheep.
You don't have to do it.
Well, it's nice meeting you again.
It's my pleasure to see
you.
you.
I have a question. It's something that is happening right now.
Yes.
Very contemporary.
Yes.
I heard you talking about the Africanist movement coming together with African. So this is a very important thing that is going on right now. What's your opinion about this new movement, the FBA versus the African people? Now, some of us have one reunification with the diaspora and the African American, because at the end of the day we are the same. But there appears to be a force trying to tear us apart. I just want to
thank you very much. Yes. No, well, I think you're right. You're right. There will always be those forces, and there is a force. There's a group called, there's a group called what, Ados?
Yes.
Something like that. And it is, to me, it's one of the negative influences, actually, of this whole idea of people trying to create some notion of ethnic isolation. And basically, this organization, I believe, and I can be wrong on this, but I don't know this for, I have not seen the evidence, but I've heard people say that it was created by the reactionary conservative Republican movement in California. And that the black people who are out of that movement have created this notion that if we talk about anything in terms of African American, we're only talking about the American descendants of slaves. ADOS, American descendants of slaves. That's to separate.
Right.
But this notion, of course, I don't think is going anywhere. But it was a notion that was also created by a UK African person in the UK who wrote a book called the Black Atlantic. And the idea was that the black people who have crossed the Atlantic in the slave movement were different from other Africans. So it's out of that sort of sentiment that we have these people. And so I reject those notions. I mean, I was telling somebody the other day, for me, for example, I did my DNA thing a couple of times. On my mother's side, my matrilineal DNA, mitochondrial DNA on her side goes to Sudan. On my father's side, it says that I was Nigerian, Malian, Cameroonian, Senegalese, and Benin. So I'm saying I am African. So there's no way you can divide, separate Africa in that way. And we all, in the sense that Bofi says, and I think it is correct, we all, in that sense, are diaspora. And in fact, the whole world is a diaspora. I wrote a book recently that just came out called Africology of the African Diaspora. And what it is saying is that the earliest diaspora was African in the first place. All Homo sapiens migrated out of Africa to the rest of the world. 70,000 years ago, Africans left Africa, many Africans left Africa, went to Asia, and went to Australia, went all over the world. That's who Homo sapiens are. So that's fundamental. But that's a great question, and my thing is that we should not even worry about that. We should continue to be united and to work in the same interests, same goals.
Next question, I'm taking to ladies before General Numa, and then go around. Numa Bob.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Molife Ashanti, for all the good work you're doing in this world. And I think as a Senegalese, we should learn more about your work, because it's so important sometimes, as we say Africa, but we don't know each other, even as Africans. Because like for me, I think I have to come to the United States to meet Liberian or meet other communities.
Right.
I never meet with them in Africa.
That's right.
And I don't know how can it's possible for us, the movement we have here, to move it back to
the
world. Because I think when you go to Senegal, even like when you are outside Senegal, they call you Nyak. That's mean right. In their mind, sometimes they think they're better, or they, and I think this is the problem we even carry when we come to the United States, because we have issue also with our brother and sister who, the first generation of American who come here as a slave. And I think we also as Africans, we have to make a lot of work to move, to try to connect, and also to put it in our own kids, because our own kids are also carry the same, I think, nonsense we having back home here. And I think our kids we have to explain them as an early age. It's nice to be African, but you have to understand you are part of this country, and you have to deal with your own brother and sister here. You can be a 2, 3 African, Caribbean, American, African. I think we need to fix that.
Excellent.
And the other things also I have to say, because when I look online, I know the new generation are working a lot online with this TikTok and all these things. And I think, I believe you should help us at least like 2 minutes, 1 minute to talk about Africa, because that's the way these kids are moving now. It's not they going to school or somewhere they used to learning from. And I think your work is excellent to be in this platform to help out the new generation.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I will do that. I will do that. I will do more of that. That is extremely important. But to your first point, Sister Yuma, which is very important, is that's why the United States of Africa is such a powerful concept. On the African continent, what we do not yet have, it's developing, and it will develop more rapidly. We don't have highways and connections to other countries and other places. It's very difficult to drive from Cape Town to Cairo, or to go from Dakar to Nairobi. But that should be a superhighway. And so we get to know other people. We get to see other places. We interact with people. And we realize that there is one Africa. And in fact, there is a young man named Wode Maya. And I don't know whether y'all see it, but look up on YouTube. Wode Maya goes all over Africa. And he gives so much information about the African continent. Some of the best. I mean, I just sit and watch YouTube and learn from watching Wode Maya, right? The largest French-speaking city in the world is in Africa. That's Kinshasa. 15 million people speak French. It's larger than Paris, three times the size of Paris. The largest English-speaking city in the world is what? Lagos. Nigeria. Not London.
Not New York.
Not New York.
Wow.
Lagos may very well be the largest, most populous city in the world with 28 million people. 28 million people live in Lagos. It feels like it. You go there and say, oh my goodness. And not only that, the fastest growing nation in the world by population is Niger. The average woman has 8 or 9 children. The average age of the people in Niger is 17. Compare that to the average age in England, 49. I'm telling you, the future is Africa. Africa is the future. But we've got to break down these boundaries that Europe created. Why is it that a person coming from Ghana going to Ethiopia needs a visa? But a person coming from the United States does not need a visa. They give you a visa at the airport when you get off at Addis. You see what I'm saying? That's not, something's wrong with that. But it's the colonial mentality, you see. We still have in place on the continent some of the same values that they created by creating these different states and creating these boundaries. So that you can't, people in Zambia don't necessarily deal with the people in Congo. The people in Congo can't deal with the people in Cameroon and so forth. You need to break down all those barriers. We have to do that. If we did that, then people would travel around, move around. Now the very wealthy people in Africa are doing that. Dangote is everywhere. I travel all over the continent and you see Dangote. Dangote is probably one of the biggest billionaires in Africa. The Nigerian construction guy. He's everywhere. And his businesses in South Africa, business in Zimbabwe, business in Ghana, business in Cameroon, Dangote. But the masses of people cannot move around like that. But it ought to be easy for us to move.
Professor Asante, first I want to express on behalf of all of us here our appreciation to you for decades of contribution to help us, like Bob Marley said, free our minds from mental slavery. I think it's in Ghana. We hold your feet. We hold your feet. My question is in regard to the AU. How would you suggest we should view them at this time and the other leaders that are not taking the kind of stand that's being taken in the Sahel states? And also, what would some of your suggestions be for us in the diaspora, how we can help?
It's a great question. It's a very powerful question. I think the way I look at them is with suspicion. The ones in the AU right now,
yes,
I don't see, let me put it this way. The leader of Nigeria, Tinubu, once the Sahel nations broke away and decided to kick the French out of the Sahel, he threatened that he would invade them and he would fight against them. And we've just seen the United States under Trump bomb Nigeria. And this is because the Nigerian government has taken the position that they are partners with Trump's administration. That to me is dangerous, very, very dangerous and short-sighted. I think that the best way we could say is that there will come, and I believe it is happening, there will come a generation of young people on the African continent who will be awakened to the idea of all possibilities, and they will bring into existence leaders who are visionary. Right now, we have too many leaders who are working in their own personal interests. They are following the Trump model. That's a very dangerous model for us. We cannot have that. I remember Thabo Mbeki once saying that the problem on the African continent, and this was very enlightening to me, is that at one time, when the movement was going on and they were fighting apartheid, we had ideas, we had visions, we had people who were discussing and debating ideas. But now there are no debates. Now there are no ideas. So I think, though, that the young people are going to have them, and that will hopefully revolutionize the leadership of the AU. But right now we have the Russians and the Chinese who are all over Africa, and their intent is to, and I know this because I was in Moscow 4 or 5 years ago, and the Russians were telling me that they needed Africa. They needed to figure out how to partner with Africa without being colonizers. That's what they were telling me. And so the Russians are in Africa, and they're actually in the Sahel, actually, and then in Mali. And French, they keep the French out to bring the Russians in. But I think the relationship between the Sahel government and the Russians is different than it was with the French. The French were colonizers. They were extracting wealth from the place. And I think that what the Russians are doing, they are actually serving the Malian government in a different way. And they're not, I don't think they see themselves as colonizers. Now, some of us see the Chinese as that way because people look at, say, well, in China, they bring their own workers, they bring even their own prostitutes, they bring everybody. The Chinese have villages. They have villages all over Africa. They have a village. They have their own villages. They set up their villages and say, we're going to build you a road. We'll build you a highway. We'll build you a train station. But we don't want any involvement with you. This is what we're going to do. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on. But our leadership is who should be called into question.
Thank you. I wanted to please give Dr. Asante another big hand. This is a conversation that could be completed any Sunday at the Malefica Asante Institute. Please stand up, Madam. This is the institute that was run by this dynamic duo here, Mr. and Mrs. Asante. 5535 Germantown Avenue. Or you can go on the website and get the program of the people that are speaking and the scholars and whatnot. But Dr. you guys just mentioned your vision about creating the institute. Because for me, it's the place to
We're not coming with. We're here, man. We're good.
Let me say then, you must go. And you must have an opportunity to go visit and to listen, because there's not a lot of places you can go to in Greater Philadelphia to really understand who we are, why we are, and what we should be doing together. We're working towards it, and as Doc pointed out, I'm happy to do whatever we can. But remember, our children go to school every day for 12 years to learn how to be something that they're not. It's a negation of who we are that our children being taught in school. And it's your tax money that's paying for them to find out that for people to tell them they ain't black.
That's right.
Okay? But they have no history. Their people have no history. Imagine, we're paying for that nonsense. But here's a young man, I call him young man, and his wonderful wife. They created an institution, even before the institution, Dr. Asante, and I'm so proud to be able to say, he created the first PhD program at Temple University. This guy did it, didn't he? That's what I'm saying, you know. We got it all. We got it recording, so I'm coming back to get y'all. I'll pass the hat not now, but now. But again, thank you very much, Doc. Thank you very much. Lisa, please come up here, please. One of the my history lesson tells me that one of the longest continuous civilizations in the world is Ethiopia. That's right. And in fact, when Jesus Christ was having problems, they went to Ethiopia. Before Jesus Christ, Moses, the Ark of the Covenant, y'all been looking for it. And also, when Muhammad got in trouble, he said to Ethiopia. So I just want y'all to listen to this fantastic young lady who helped called us up and volunteered to support. So I want to say thank you very much, and thank you to the Ethiopian Community Association of Greater Philadelphia. Every year, James Blackwell and Clark Park, we have a big program to celebrate Ethiopian New Year, September. They say that they're 2 years behind, but maybe they're 2 years ahead of us. And I've watched for the last 30 years, been able to watch these. Well, they were very young then. These have grown up to their celebration and watch them every year. So I'm happy that you called us. Please come and introduce yourself. Yes. Tell us what's up. And then we'll take a minute and we'll get some food. You come here.
All right.
The video guy has to see you.
Okay, so I just first wanted to thank you so much, Mr. Stan, Akana, James Blackwell, everyone who has collaborated with the Ethiopian Community Association for, I think it's been there for 40 years. Mm-hmm. I'm used to hiding, but okay. My name is Beza. It's really hard to come and follow Dr. Asante. It's an amazing conversation that's been happening. I am an expert in international education, not so much a lot of these other topics, but I can at least speak to my experience here as first generation Ethiopian American. So my background, I came to Philly to go to University of Pennsylvania. I studied international education, one of their earlier programs. And so right now I work at Haverford College. So if you know any international students, talk to me about it. I'm the director there. Yes. And I've been volunteering with the Ethiopian Community Association for the past 12 years maybe, when I came here for graduate school. Myself and the other young lady back there, Yordanos. Typically, when you see one Ethiopian, you don't see them by themselves. We move as a group, as a family. But I feel really welcomed here as well as a Pan-African. I truly feel at home whenever I'm with my African family, no matter where I am in the world. But yeah, I got into my field having worked in China and then came back here to work in higher education. I've been volunteering with the Ethiopian Community Center for a while. So myself and another gentleman that's going to be coming, we founded EPYAA, which is the Young Adults branch. That's the most active branch, we still say. But we had to pass it on to the younger generation once we got our grades. So they've been doing a wonderful, wonderful job as well. And you'll see them. If you come out for Ethiopia Day in September, sometimes we have it in October, at Clark Park, we really welcome y'all to come. We have to do a better job at reaching out to our Pan-African family throughout Philly. So I have just recently been elected to the actual executive board of the Ethiopian Community Association. You'll be seeing my face around, hopefully Yordanos' face, Wibishet when he comes in as well. So new generations are taking over. We really appreciate Mr. Zari who worked with you.
Yes.
We appreciate appreciate Ahai and all these founding members that bought this building on 44th and Chestnut, 44th and Chestnut, and it's been there for 4 days. We're really proud of that. And I think what we do best is collaborate. So we're really excited to collaborate once again with the Global Philadelphia Association and ACANA. Another wonderful news that I wanted to share today, we're going to have a dedication. Mural Arts actually approved a mural going up on our building. So you'll see that. Yes, you'll see that this summer. So hopefully the second weekend of July, you'll come party and celebrate with us. We have our artist named Sosena who pushed that through. She put in so much work the last 6 months to get it done. It's not an easy feat. So these are some new things that we're trying to do. I think just in the past 5 years is when we got our first official grant where we were able, Jordanos, can you put your hand up? So she's the first part-time staff that we hired. So she's gonna do the Buna ceremony for y'all. So that's why we're able to contribute food, contribute staff, contribute, and just share a little bit more about our heritage than we have in the past. So looking forward to having more of that structure, building on our Pan-African family here in Philly. And then today we brought you different kinds of food. So we brought beef steak for those of us who are meat eaters. So it's called, it's like this red beef stew. That's the spicier one. It should be pretty simple. If you don't like spicy, don't touch the red stuff. But if you do, please partake in that. And then for, vegetarians, if you want to dig into some of our other dishes, I believe that we have gomen and some lentil dishes and also a salad. So what we'll do is we'll kind of lean towards this wall, grab our plates. You're going to roll out the injera. We can have someone demonstrate as well. Who's has their injera in it? Yeah. All right. So we'll have the professionals in between. So you roll out your injera and then put the stew on top. It drives us crazy when people use silverware. Please don't do that. We don't do that back home. It's okay to use your hands. We use our hands for sandwiches, don't we? Yeah. And pizza, it's all right. So we'll do it the traditional way. Put the what on there. So you kind of have to measure it out so that it's not kind of spilling. Kind of portion it out properly, or else it like leak into each other. And then you can put the salad on there at the same time. And then you just have to make sure you take at least 2 pieces of injera is what I recommend, because you want to try all of the different sauces. Sorry to be so particular, but they asked me to be. So you'll do that, and then once you finish grabbing all of your plates and your drinks, if you want us to pass out drinks, typically what we do for our elders is we'll come around and pass out drinks to you, okay? So if you know you're an elder, you grab your plate, you sit down, and then you call me over, and I'll get you the drink. And then once that's done, Jordanos will set up the buna. You'll start to smell the aroma of the buna. You know we're very serious about our coffee. We found, y'all believe that?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, we know that.
Okay. I thought I had to pull out a sword. So like a little shepherd on the hills found the buna. The coffee, because we have all of these highlands, is just aromatic, really beautiful. So once you get that smell in here, you will be able to bring the coffee to you. Now the buna will bring to you, I believe, individually. So our friend Wube, if you want to put your hands up in the air like this, our other friend is here, so he'll help me pass around the buna as well. We have cream, we have sugar if you like. Does that sound good?
It sounds good.
All right, so we're really happy to be here. Thank you again. So if you see me, Beza, in the future, I look forward to collaborating with you, Wobeshes, Jordanos, at the community center. I also wanted to make sure, for those of you who like social media, on Facebook, we have Ethiopian Community Philadelphia, I think is what we called it. So ECP, Ethiopian Community Philadelphia. If you add that page, any of these things we're talking about, like the mural arts or Ethiopia Day, you'll get that information quickly. If you just prefer an email, I can pass out my email as well. Oh, this, okay, Mr. Stan will advertise.
Okay, yes.
Yes, sounds good. Any questions about our community or what we can improve or how we can collaborate, let me know. Otherwise, let's dig in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Please give her another video. We appreciate you in the community and really one of our strongest supporters in terms what we're doing in Africatown and where they're safe. And thank you for catering our event today. And we're looking forward to everybody inviting them to your community. Nothing else. I did a study for the Ethiopian community a couple years ago, Mike. And do you know we have people come from all over the world just to get some injections? It's phenomenal, you know? So I want to thank you very much for all you do. And we also have an Ethiopian Business Association here. We have about 60 restaurants in it, all along from Baltimore Avenue, all over it. So please.
Oh, I should say this food is from ERA Restaurants, ERA in Fairmount. So y'all might know the restaurants on Baltimore Avenue, but ERA, our good friend who helped us with the founding of the Young Adults Group, he now manages that restaurant. So ERA in Fairmount on Popular. So I hope you enjoy it.
So tell us what to do there.
All right, so maybe you should. So we'll start asking people on this side to stand up. Are we ready? Jordanus? Good to go? Okay. So we can start lining up from there.
We'll start from there and just go ahead and then we'll come to this side.
So if everyone can just line up this way, start from here and then you go back to your seats this way.
And then once you sit down, maybe I'm going to ask everybody to introduce themselves because I feel bad. I see so many wonderful friends and partners here. And
did you let them know they don't need utensils, right?
Yeah, oh, I did.
so we'll take care of Thanks, man.
Is there more than one place to wash
In our community, we help each other. But when it comes to prescription pain medication, such as opioids, sharing isn't helping, it's harming. What works for you could be dangerous, even deadly for somebody else. Don't share your opioids. Instead, help by guiding your family, friends, and neighbors to a doctor. Real help saves lives. This message is brought to you by the Multicultural Community Family Services in partnership with LRTN. Did you know 1 in 4 patients who take opioids long-term become addicted? Opioids are strong pain medications like oxycodone, hydrocodone, or morphine. They can help with pain, but they can also lead to addiction and overdose. Take the medication only the way your doctor tells you to take it. And never share them with your family, friends, or neighbors. Know the risks. Stay safe. This message is brought to you by the Multicultural Community Family Services in partnership with LRTN.
About done?
And you use this to eat your food. Take a piece. There's really there.
There you go, there you go.
What's your call?
We don't. Not that size.
Oh, recorder.
Right here. Okay,
It's a long line. I don't have no space.
Gotta go to the grand.
Hey man, I'm not